everything we'll see step by step. Okay. So whenever you are assigning any task, just go to the mock shells. This is designed by the statistician. We are the statistical programmer. So go to the listing and which listing you are assigned. So open that listing mock shell. Okay, that is mock shell nothing but layout. So by using this layout, we can print the data in a this form. Okay, so here this we can call titles. Okay, so this one two three we can call title, this we can call footer, we can call footnote. So maximum of 10 titles, 10 footnotes allowed in the SAS by default. Okay, so this we can call body part. So in this body part, so they want to print five variables: use of JID, SCFFL, TTL, PK, and enrollment population flag. So these five variables you can take from the dataset ADSL and you can use this variable. So already told the TFL, the source dataset coming from the ADAM datasets. Okay. In this ADAM, one of the ADAM is ADSL, subject level dataset. That dataset you can take in that dataset all variables we are not printing, only five variable as per the statistician mark we can take and print and create this listing. Okay, this is by default time and this one is nothing but page number. How many pages you are printing the information, you can give the page number. Okay, so this is what the mock shell given by the statistician. As a statistical programmer, you need to write a programming and you have to print the information with these required variables. Okay, so first we need to start any programming. So we need one header. So without header, what happen? So what type of programming it is, we don't know. So header, every company maintains some template. So as per one of the company, so this is the template. Okay. So the client, you can see this is a Pharma Private Limited. Okay. And the project name is, this one is the protocol or project name. And the program name is, this is the program 16 to 11, right? So this is a listing. So starts with the L, 16 to 11. So you can save the programs under, go to the our project in this PGM program folder. You just save the program name like this. Okay. So type is listing to produce listing. Okay. So yeah, it was disconnected. I don't know. You're able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a 9.4 SAS and Windows 2010. And author is, my name is Shiva. So date created 28th March 2025. So modification history. So first time we are creating, there is no modification. Second time onwards, whenever we received any comments from the client or statistician or any other person, once you modify the program, you need to mention what are the modifications you done in the program. So step by step, so that other programmer who are going to update this programming, so just they will check the modification history already done that, programmatical issue or any changes. So they will see the modification history and they will update the program. Okay. So once done, the first thing is the source data set. Here, as per the mock shell, ADSL data set they are assigned to use. Okay. So we have to get the data. So what is the source? Adam is the source. Get the data from Adam folder. Okay. Yeah. So how to get the data from the Adam folder? So we can see here our project. So we have an Adam. So all this Adam data set. So we can access into our SAS environment like libname statement. So just write the libname statement so we can access the data. So Adam was successfully created. Go to the libraries and see the Adam. So all the Adam data sets are there here. So in that, so they are asking us to use the ADSL data set. You can see all these are variable names. So in this, so many variables are there. All these variables they don't want to print only the five variables. So use sub JID and this SAFFL. Yeah, here some variables they are using. So what we do? So instead of keeping all this variable, keep only required variable. Okay. So create one temporary data set. So the data set name we can give listing 16 to 1 1. Okay. Set the data set name is Adam folder ADS. So what are the variable they want to use? The first variable is use of JID and second variable is SAFFL and third variable is DLT related population flag and fourth variable is PK evaluator flag and fifth variable is enrollment flag. So these five variable only they want to print. So just keep it and save it. So the data set is creating. Go to the work library and see here. Okay. So these five variable information they want to print in the RTF file. Okay. So here this is a empty mock shell. So what we do? So we have to print with our data. So yeah. So how to print?
Sir,
Yeah.
so what is mark shell? It is a format.
Yeah. It is layout given
Okay.
by the statistician. Okay. So this
Okay,
layout
this
they
one.
are expecting.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So now first we have to print the titles. Okay. So title one. So justification equal to. So this is the title one. So justification nothing but if you see here. So this is a left alignment, right? So alignment left. So this is the title one. The justification equal to left alignment. So this is we are going to print as a title one. So title two justification equal to left alignment. So this is the title two we are going to print. And title three justification equal to center alignment. So you can see this is the title three. You can see here center alignment. So just copy this one and paste it here as a title three. Okay, up to 10 titles, 10 footnotes we can give. So next footnote one justification equal to left alignment. So this is what footnote. Okay, so they given the footnote like this. So you can give what are the footnote they mentioned. You simply mention the footnote here. Okay. Yeah. So now titles and footnotes we have given. So where to save this RTF file? So where to save this RTF? Whenever we created some RTF file, right? So where to save? This RTF file should be RTF nothing but rich text file. Okay. So where to save this RTF file? So all the outputs we have to stored in the folder called outputs. Just copy this path and mention here and the output name is listing 16 to 11. The extension is RTF file. Okay. Yeah. So now titles
S-
and footnotes we have given. Yeah,
sir,
tell me. Yeah.
so what is this J side justification you said? What is the explanation for that? It's only for the alignment.
Yes, alignment only. So
Okay.
whenever we created that output, the
Mm,
this one should be in a left side alignment. This
okay.
should be in a central alignment.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So next we have to write the proc report section, which is used to print the dataset information into the RTF file, right? So I am using proc report. So data equal to so listing 16 to 11. Okay. So this is the data set which we use to print into the RTF file. Okay. So we don't want to print the information into the output window, right? So that is why I written no window option. And so we have to use the style equal to the total output width equal to 100%. Okay. So the total of RTF file width equal to, you can assume as 100%. So whenever some missing values are there in the data, those missing values also we need to print. And I'll tell you what is the split character where it is used. Just split equal to, just mention one mod symbol. Okay. So we'll tell you what is the split character used. So now in the column statement, what are the variables you are going to print, which order? So that order you just mentioned here. So if you are mentioning SCFFL first, so in the output also it will print in the first place only. So that is why this order also important. This order, which order they mentioned, that order you have to keep the variables in the column statement. Okay. So now we have to define each and every variable, because total the RTF width equal to 100% if you are assume. So each and every variable occupancy, for example, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each variable 20% occupancy. That is why total 100% it will fill. So it should not be over than 100%. Why? Because the variables go to the next place and you are not getting a proper output. Okay. So if you understand one listing, the other listings we can copy the same content and we can update as per the requirement. So that is why first listing little bit difficult, but later you can simply copy the information. So we have to define each and every variable. So here the use sub JID, the subject number should be in a order wise 1, 2, 3. So that is why I just given the order. So the label of the use sub JID, so we have to give the subject in the first line, number in the second line. So how it is going into the second line? So if you are giving everything like this, so it will print in the first line itself. But how can we split this into the second line? So that is why we mentioned one symbol here. So if you are using that symbol, automatically this symbol recognized as a split character. So whenever it is printing, this going to the first line, then split, and it is going and printing in the second line. Okay. So subject number and
Sir,
yeah.
uh, so sorry for the interruption. Can you explain me the style equal to output with what is that, sir?
So this was nothing but total RTF width we can consider as 100%. Okay.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So now style. Okay. So the entire column. So this we can call subject number. We can call header. But total this variable we can call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. Okay. So this is the header part and this is the total column part. So style column equal to, how we are going to define justification equal to, you can write JR justification also, no issue. And you can give the cell width. So total 100%, right? So I am allocating 20% here, and same variable header justification equal to left alignment, same cell width you can assign. So that what happened? So total this variable we are giving 20% cell width. Okay. So use sub JID out of 100%, the occupancy of this use sub JID we are giving 20% only. Okay.
So can you explain the column and the header again, sir?
Yeah.
The
So
style column, style head.
for example, if I write run statement and so we are closing this ODS. Okay. Let me show you so that you will get a complete idea. Mm. So you are getting like this because we are not defining this one, but we mentioned here, right? So that is why automatically they are printed. So for example, here only one variable if you are using. Yeah. So here only one variable we are printing. For example, this was, so header I am giving only the two. Okay. So it is not affecting. Why? Because it is a cell weight. Okay. So this column and header I will show you once the output was completed. So once you change, so it will change. So just wait few more minutes. Okay. So
Okay,
after
sir.
that one I will explain. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So initially, so we can, define all the variables after that one. Once the output was created, I will change the numbers and I will show you the exact what is column, what is header. Okay. Yeah. First variable we define in a similar way. So you can define all the remaining variables as well. So next variable is safety population. So no need order this one because order subject wise. And here you can give the safety in the first line and the population in the second line. Okay. And third variable is DLT evaluation flag. So DLT available you are going to print in the first line and population in the second line. And the fourth variable is PK related, PK available population. And the last variable is enrollment related flag. Okay, so define each and every variable. So total 100%, but 99% only acceptable. If you are giving 100 also, that variable go to the next line. So that is why I am just giving 19 to the last variable, so that total 99. Okay. So once you done this one, just close everything. The ODS RTF we are opening here, right? So we just close here. And if you run this one, yeah, the output was getting without any errors. Okay. But what is the issue here? If you see the output, so this is something not, similar to this one because this RTF style is different and this is a default style it was generated. Okay, these lines and etc. So we are information was printed properly, but this is a default RTF style, but we are expecting the client some specific style is there, this style we are expecting. So for that purpose we can ask the client, or so we have some macros are there, the style macros. Okay, so in the macro folder, so we have one called RTF. Okay, so if you look at this RTF macro, so all the styles they already predefined. So how the the document top margin, bottom margin, and which color, which font size should be printed, everything was they defined in this macro. Okay, so RTF style of macro, either it will provided by the client, otherwise your company having this style of macros. Okay, which style they want to use, because every settings were already inbuilt in this macro. So we simply call this macro to apply the RTF setting to our RTF file. Okay, simply what we do, so here you can include the that macro, where the macro is the path you can give, and you can simply run the RTF macro, RTF dot SAS. Okay, so whenever you run this macro from in this program, so it was created a styles.test. Okay, so styles.test it was created, like here styles.test was created. So this template we are going to apply here. So after RTF, style equal to styles.test. So once you apply that one, so automatically the RTF file you are getting like this. Okay. So why it is getting 1 minute. Any error? Twenty, 40, 80. Oh shit. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 20, 40, 60, 80, and 99 is correct only. Okay, so this was, portrait. You can see the layout, and in this orientation, it was a portrait, but we are expecting the landscape. So you can see the mark shell also, the layout. 1 minute, please. Sorry. So here mark shell is showing the layout. Their orientation is landscape. So we need to write here options orientation equal to landscape. Okay. If you are applying the landscape, and now you can see the output. Okay. So output is getting like this. So as it is exactly how the mark shell is there. So we'll get the information, titles and footnotes and information. Still we need to do something like above one borderline is missing, below one borderline is missing. So to get that borderline, okay. So either we can write headline, but I don't know, headline is not working here. So that is why we can write manually by using compute block statement. Compute before each and every page. Okay. So I'm writing one line at the rate one. So you can draw one line manually and come. Okay. So close the output before running everything and give this one. So here you can see you can draw a line up to here. So you can extend the line and up to here. Instead of that one, so we can write one standard code to reserved as a solid line. So this code you will find in the Google also how to get the solid line. So one cap symbol. Okay. So one cap symbol and you will give the flower bracket style and output width equal to 100% and border top width equal to 0.5 pt. Just close it and flower bracket. So if you are running this statement, so it will resolve as a solid line. Okay, so we'll see once. So it is not resolving as a solid line. What the text we have given directly, the text was printing here. So to get that as a solid line, so there is a cap symbol is there, right? So we can give here option escape char equal to, no, it is a ODS. ODS escape char equal to, you just mentioned that cap symbol. so that without this, that line was not going to result as a solid line. If you are writing this ODS escape care, so directly the solid line was printed here up to from the starting point to ending point automatically. So if you are giving manual line, every time you need to adjust. So if you are giving this standard code, so it will give. So it's the same thing. After also we need one line, right? So below, so just run it. Now we can see above one line, below one line, subject number, safety population, DLT, PK, and this one. So this is title one, title two, title three center alignment and footnote. And this is the date because we are using the pirated ones. That is why backend date it was printing. So if you are using the genuine version, the latest date, which whenever you are running the programming, the date and time, it will print. The one nothing but the page one automatically it was printing. Okay, now you can see this is the mock shell the statistician provide, and this is the layout which we printed. So now we can see what is this header and column. Okay, so for example, column header I am giving only two. Any change you can observe see. So now the column we are giving 20%, header we are giving 2 of the use of JID. Okay, so you can see the subject number. So subject number, the header part only occupy 2 width only. Okay. So if you are giving this one 20 and this one 2, okay. So column, you can see the header part, like header part occupy already 20%. So that is why column is automatically it will take 20. So here, for example, it was if you are giving 100%. Okay. So total is 100. You can see it is not changing because already it was occupied. So header nothing but, so this was heading is there, right? This is the header, column nothing but this entire. So up to here, this we can call column. So to overcome all the issues, generally the programmer is giving the same header and same column cell width so that this variable occupancy is 20% we calculated out of 100%. So sometimes if we are not giving this column also, it will take as a header is a the width, but sometimes it was not working. So that is why good programming practice column and header should be defined and both cell width we are giving in the same way so that okay this variable 20% occupant, this variable 20, this variable 20, so total should be 99 only. That is why one variable we are giving 19. So if you are giving the 20, so that was not fitting into the page and it will go to the next page and we are not getting a proper layout. Okay. Yeah, this is to create the first listing. Okay, so first header part, next access the Adam library, keep the variable which are required. So this is called macro, RTF macro to set up all the RTF setting. This we can use layout landscape. This we can use to resolve that special syntax as a solid line. These are the titles, footnotes, and where we are saving the RTF file, and we have to apply the style proc report section, column variables, and each and every variable you need to define before one line, after one line. You need to close, otherwise, it should be now read only mode. So, whenever you're rerunning the programming, make sure that it should be there this statement and close the output and rerun the program. Otherwise, it is not overlapping. Okay. So this is for the first listing, little bit, taking time who are new to the listing, but this is the actual work we are going in the doing in the industry. So whenever you join, they directly not allotted any tables or macros or any ADAM, nothing. Simply they given one listing to test whether you are able to produce the listing efficiently or not. Okay, so 4 5 variables we can easily fit, but more than 10 variable, so you need to fit into the one page. That time the cell width is playing a major role. So we have to check the length and we need to give a proper. So first time itself you don't need to give the give the random cell width. Once the output was generated, you can adjust the cell width according to the text present in that variable. Okay, so that is what we do. So randomly first you give some cell width, later once the output is generated, you can adjust cell width and taking time to adjust all the alignments and everything, and you can finalize your listing output. So we can call tables, listings, figures as a outputs. So this we can call it as a listing. So now that listing definition is the data set from the ADA we are printing into the RTF file with the required variable mentioned in the mock shell. Okay. Yeah. Anybody having any doubt? So you can unmute and ask me one by one. I will clarify.
Sir,
Sir, in the program we have ODS escape cat, right?
Yes.
Yeah, what is that option?
So here we are giving this cap symbol, right? So if
Yeah.
you want to resolve this as a line, you should be write the escape character equal to this symbol you need to mention. Otherwise, it was not going to resolve as a line. So this is a special syntax, right? It containing this special character. You should be escape this character. Otherwise, it was not going to resolve as a line. So for the purpose, I written this statement. Okay.
Oh, it will not consider as a text within
Yeah,
whatever we
exactly.
mention in the quotation, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Sir, in that
Yeah.
first variable we are given order, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that option will sort or
Yeah,
give
it
the
will
sequence.
use sort as well as whenever we have a multiple subject numbers are there. For example, here we have only each subject have only one record, right? 1001 having only one record, two has, for example, 001 has five records. So that time it will group and it will sort. So order statement will use for the grouping as well as sorting. Okay, so one variable is sorted automatically, other variables also sorted as per this order, right? So in this data set we have only one record per subject, so that is why we are giving this order. So automatically the subject number also sorted as per this variable.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, so once we will start the interview questions. So I already told you, so every day I will discuss 5 interview questions along with the class. So this was related to some questions Adam, SDTM and TFL. So the first question is, so whenever we have seen the Adam data sets, so in the ADSL, okay, so ADSL, sometimes you see the variable called BMI, okay. So in this data, we don't have that BMI is BMI, BL is there, okay. Here height, here weight, and this is the BMI. So BMI at the baseline. So how to calculate this formula? What is the formula you people are using to calculate the BMI? This is a general question, but some programmers might not know this answer. How to, what is the formula of the BMI whenever you creating the ADSL? Okay. So for example, BMI related table is there here. So weight, height and BMI. So once the BMI is there, the statistics they want to display in the table level. Okay. So here you can see, so the height weight information sometimes we get from the vital size data set. So here this is the formula for the BMI. So you should be by heart this one, weight divided by height into height. So weight should be in a kgs, height should be in a meter square. So and the formula here, the syntax of the SAS, weight and height should not be missing. The BMI is weight divided by height into height. So that is why height square divided by 100. Okay. So whenever you see something like centimeters, you need to convert them into the meters. After that one, use that meter variable of height. So if the weight is something other, you need to convert. If the directly weight come from the kgs, directly use the formula weight divided by height into height. That is why height divided by 100. So all square. So this formula which are generally used to calculate the BMI in the ADSL dataset variable derivation. Okay. And the second question is, yeah. So what is the difference between the param type variable and D type variable in the AD Adam datasets. Okay, so whenever you see any Adam dataset, sometimes you will see the variable. Whether I don't know whether this variable are there or not. Parameter is there. Yeah. So sometimes, this variable was not mandatory to all the data sets. Some special cases, this param type and d type variable is added in some data sets. Okay. Here you can see parameters are there, right? In this data set ADLB. So whenever you want to create a new row, already 6 rows are present. Seventh row, if you want to insert into the parameter, so that time the D type should be which method you are including that row. We can mention here what is the derivation method which you are using to insert this row. So that average, for example, here you want to calculate all this eval and populate the average value as a seventh row. Okay, so one parameter here, the weight is the parameter. So 6 rows were collected already. So subject, but the client want to see the average of the all the values. So that time we are forcefully create one row. Okay, that we can row which derivation we are using average you can mention, and which the value which we are getting the average value you need to mention here. So the definition is whenever we want to insert a row in the parameter level, so that time the d type variable is using which derivation method we are inserting the row we are populating as a d type. So whenever you are completely deriving a new parameter by using the existing parameter, okay, weight kg is the existing parameter. You are creating the log 10 weight kg parameter by using this value. So that time entire new parameter was added. That time param type we have to add it as a derived. So we are creating a new parameter. That is why this param type variable as a derived. So here even the derived parameter also we can insert a row as a D type. So D type nothing but derivation, param type nothing but new parameter is created. That time we populated the param type variable, and they will test you your Adam implementation guide knowledge. So 1.0 we have param type and D type variable, but 1.1 version of the Adam latest guidelines. So param type variable was not there, only the D type variable we are using. Okay, so this also make a note. Param type variable is no longer is available from the 1.1 version. Only 1.0 Adam implementation guide which you are using for your study, that time only param type and d type variable we are using. And all the data set no need to create this variable whenever there is a requirement is there. So that studies only this variables was populated. Okay, and the third question, so how to create the age variable. So age variable already there in the data set. Okay, if you open the any ADSL data set, you will find the variable called age. So what is a age? A age nothing but analysis age. So whenever sometimes the age was missing, means collection time the age was missing, so we have to create the variable called a age, analysis age. So analysis age should be derived like this: year of birth, so birth date and randomization date, age. Okay. So for example, here, if you see here, so in the first table data set, age was missing. Okay. So age was missing. So his birth date is 12th 1958. Okay, so when the subject is randomized to the any study 17th March. Okay, so that time what we do, so this 12th 1958 is there, right? So we are assigning the 15 date. Okay, So next, this 15th date to 17th date, how many days it was there? So 57 years we are calculating. So age is missing. Why? Because the birth DTC is a partial date. What we do in the analysis level, we make imputed 15th date and we calculated this 15th date and the randomization date and create the variable called analysis age and calculate the age and populate here. So what happen in the clinical data, most of the times we will get the partial data or missing data. So with the data, we are not going to do the analysis efficiently. So that time what we do, statistician suggesting some imputed values and some new variables like age variable was there. But this was not useful because partial date is there or missing date is there. So they created one more variable similar to this variable where the missing values are there. So they will give some derivation how to create the variable. So age, and this is the analysis age. So whenever we are using the tables listing, so if this variable is completely available, we can use. Otherwise, analysis age variable we can use for the analysis purpose. Okay. And fourth question. Sometimes you can see the listing like this. So that time treatment, subject number, date of informed consent, randomization, last dose, first visit status, and primary reason for early discontinuation. So that time, so in the mark shell, they haven't mentioned anything, but as is experienced programming, so sometimes other is there in the variable, but you need to mention what is the other reason as well in the listing. So what happened? So the other we can find in the variable. For example, here we can see here. So the race variable we have information other. So what is this other also you need to represent in the listing. Okay. So here any other is there here? Yeah, here you can see. Here this is the other. If you are directly using this variable to print by using the proc report, only other was printed. But as a experienced program, you need to concatenate this other reason also here. Other plus this one also you need to print in the listing. So nowhere it mentioned. So directly you are using this variable. Wherever this other is there, you need to concatenate that other reason also here like this, and you need to mention in the listing level. So this is just know who are having the experience. So in the direct programmer, what we do, so directly considering this variable and printing this information. But whenever the report or listing go to the client level, so they want to know what is this other. So what is the reason of this other? So you have to mention this physician decision also concatenated with observation. Okay, the client know, okay, the other reason is this one. So here that will ask in the interview. So whenever you have a one variable called other, how you are displaying in the listing. So for example, the information is collected like this. So it is a other, right? So the other information was collected in a separate variable. So that time what we do? So other and this reason. So you have to concatenate it this other along with the reason, and you need to represent other along with the reason. So this answer will expect from the candidate.
Sir, here we can create a new variable.
Yes, we can create a new variable concatenating these two, and that new variable pass into the proc report section. Okay.
But client will ask required variables only, or we
No, no,
can
no.
print as many as one.
No, as per the, so for example, mark shell here, so they will mention the discontinuation reason only. Okay. So even the statistician provide one variable. So we have to concatenate it the two variable. So nobody will check the variable names. Everybody checking the output. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And here the fifth question is, so yeah, for example, so you are doing one data set, but it is a ongoing study. So For example, if it is an ongoing study, so you are working on the one data set or one programming. So that data set is available in the library or not. Okay. So for example, in the Adam data set, the mark shell showing ADPC data set you have to take. But ADPC was not there in this data set. So how can we know programmatically that ADPC data set was available in this library or not? So which function you are using to check the data? For example, here you can see, for example, 100 data sets are there. You can't see one by one, right? So that time we use the function called sysfunc and exist the data set. Okay. So this function and whether it was existing the data set or not, it will check. So the interview people, which function used to check whether the data set is available in the library or not. The function sysfunc and exist. So if it is there, so you will get the number 1. If it is not there, it will give as a value 0. So if it is a 1, then we'll write the remaining condition. If it is not there, simply we can leave it. Okay. Sometimes you need to write a programming in a dynamic way. So every time you are not going to check everything, right? So if you are writing the sysfunc and this exist function, it will check whether the data set is available. So then we can write the remaining programming. Otherwise, we can leave it as it is. Okay. So like this only. For example, ADPC they mentioned. So exist sys function exists ADPC there. So we can write the programming. Otherwise, we can leave it like 0 observations. Okay. And next question. Uh, yeah. So how to know whether a variable existing in the data set? Okay. So here ADSL data set is there. In this age variable there or not, how can we check? Age variable there, age variable there or not, how can we check? By using here, so simple syntax. So data null DSID, first open the data set and check. So which variable name you want to check? Okay. So company variable you want to check in this data set. If check equal to 0, then variable does not exist. If you are getting the value 1, so the variable is present in the data set. Okay. So like that, whenever you want to check a variable in the data set, you use the this method. First open the data set and varnam function use, and you can mention that variable. If the variable is there, that variable resolved as 1. If the variable is not there, the check variable we are getting the value 0. So here too, exist function used to check the data set present in the library, and varnam function used to variable present in the data set or not, it will check.